Chris Minns has been sworn in today, and already the unions are calling on the new New South Wales Premier to deliver on his election promises. One of those was to boost teacher numbers across the state to help stem the 2,000 teacher shortage across public primary and high schools across the state.
Joining us now to discuss some solutions to the teacher shortage is Australia's most famous and enthusiastic maths teacher, Eddie. Woo!
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Thanks, Molly. Never gets old.
Sorry, mate. I don't know what came over me then. But I'm very excited to talk to you about this because I think you'll have unique insight, actually. There are thousands of teacher vacancies across Australia still. How do we fill them?
Yeah, look, first, thanks for starting me off on a really nice, gentle, easy question. I guess it's really important to acknowledge that there just is no silver bullet solution to this problem, right? Because if one existed, then I wouldn't have become a maths teacher, 20 years ago, because it was that shortage that you refer to, which is what drove me into teaching mathematics rather than some of the other subjects where we have more abundant teachers. So when we talk about society as a whole being able to address the attitude towards teaching, it's still not a profession which has a lot of respect or dignity or value in society. When we talk about, we've got a new government coming in, being able to put our money where our mouth is when it comes to addressing some of the challenges, the workforce, working conditions, all these issues play into it in terms of retention of teachers, because actually we don't have that much trouble convincing people to come into the profession because it's noble and there's a great moral purpose to it, but actually keeping them there, that's the hard part.
A pay rise would help as well, though, right?
Look, I'm not going to complain if someone, changes the award, but of course that's what I'm going to say, right?
Teachers need to be paid well because it's important work that you're doing. Eddie, we know that there's a huge shortage as well of male teachers in particular. How do we then make the profession more attractive to blokes?
I think more than ever, our young people in schools need fantastic male role models, and lots of them. I think it's important to recognise that obviously teaching is definitely a caring profession. You won't get anywhere as a teacher if you don't care about your students. But it's not only a caring profession which tend to be dominated by women, it's also a profession where we are actually tackling really big, purposeful problems that affect all of society. And that sort of problem-solving angle on it, I think that's one of the things that resonates with a lot of men, and maybe emphasising that as part of what it means to be a teacher, to solve problems that matter to everyone, would actually help us restore some of that balance you talk about.
Well, Eddie, maybe the answer is picking up a little side hustle potentially, which is what you've just done. I've just found out you are now the University of Sydney's Professor of Practice. What does that mean? What are you practicing?
Yeah, it's for me a really exciting opportunity to work with pre-service teachers, because what we want to do is help those students who are becoming teachers to be exposed to the realities of everyday classrooms. It's really worthwhile work, but it's also challenging, and we don't want to disguise any of those difficulties for them. We want them going in with both their eyes open, being prepared, and having really practical, authentic, and current expertise to teach them how to teach, to help their students be the best learners they can be.
Eddie, before you go, we need help with our homework here. There's a maths problem that has left the entire internet stumped. Can you help us solve this?
I'm just going to anticipate that there are a few different opinions for people who are maybe watching at home, or maybe even there in the studio with you. Lots of people are thinking maybe it's 2 times 1 plus 2 is 6. So 6 divided by 6 gives you 1, which I think is what you mentioned. But other people are going to argue and say, no, hold up. 6 divided by 2, that's 3. And then you multiply that by 1 plus 2, which is 3.
Yes,
and you get 9. So is the answer 1 or 9? And you might hate me for a second, but I'm going to say the answer is yes.
What?
Because
What's yes?
What?
This
Yeah,
is
what's
actually
yes?
a
Exactly.
mathematical equation that, get me, right? It was designed to be ambiguous. You might not like that, but it's a bit of a gotcha kind of problem. It's meant to trick you. It's a mathematical sentence, a little bit like, I saw a man with a telescope. Now, you tell me, did you see a man walking by and he was holding a telescope in his hand? Or did you look through a telescope and see a man? I saw a man with a telescope is ambiguous, and maths can be like that sometimes too. So 1 or 9, they're kind of both the answer.
Oh, Eddie, we love chatting with you. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Always a pleasure, thanks.